And welcome everyone to Hawley Field, just east of Snider High School, and high school baseball for the first Saturday in May as the Carroll Chargers bring a 9-6 record to visit the 10-2 Snider Panthers. I am Brett Rump, and it's our pleasure this week to be joined by PSM Baseball Academy, Director.
Yeah,
Josh VanMeter, of course, former Major League Baseball player, former high school player in our area at Norwell High School, and kind of fun to get back into the roots here. Come out and watch some high school baseball this Saturday morning.
Yeah, man, I haven't been to this field, I think, since I was like a senior in high school. And, yeah, it brings back a lot of memories seeing these young guys, come out here on an early Saturday morning, a little brisk weather, a little brisk breeze, and get out here and compete. It'll be fun to watch. Challenge
for the Carroll Chargers. They'll be taking on a Snider team that really hits the baseball. How about a team average of 392? Individually, I'd have taken that any of my 4 years of high school baseball. 392 team average.
That's pretty good, man. That gets me excited to come out and watch this today, especially against, good program like Carroll. When I was in school, Carroll was always really, really good. And so I've heard a lot about this Snider team, obviously getting back into like the youth side of baseball, and a lot of people talking about this Snider team. And, I'm really excited to be out here today.
One of the most dynamic players in our area, Brandon Logan, stars on the football field, also stars on the baseball diamond. He's going to be a dual sport athlete at Notre Dame. That's just a testament to the athletic ability that this kid has.
Yeah, he looks good in the uniform. You always say that about guys when they roll off the bus, and you're like, that guy looks good in the uniform. And so, super exciting, great athlete. Seen some football tape, and can't wait to watch him on the field here today.
Carroll will be in all gray uniforms with dark blue letters, numbers, blue helmet, and on the mound to start it off for the Snider Panthers. It is senior Brady Keck, and the first pitch is fouled down the first base line by Jackson Sparks, senior center fielder for the Chargers, a left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. Sparks, a .431 hitter, 5 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 20 knocked in out of that leadoff spot.
That's what you're looking for out of that leadoff spot right there.
Guy that does a little bit of everything. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch is in the dirt, evens the count up 1-1. Taking a look at the Chargers lineup after Sparks, it'll be Carter Irons, Xavier Edgar, Eli Neuheiser will be the cleanup hitter. A fastball tails off the plate, and it's 2-1 on Sparks. Hitting fifth will be Braden Chrisley, the catcher. Hitting sixth, Tyler Morris. Aiden Corzine bats seventh. Kyle Young will do the pitching for Carroll as the ball misses outside, 3-1. Young will bat eighth for the Chargers, and the ninth hitter will be Jackson Craker, a senior right fielder. The 3-1 pitch, and that is down and in, 4 straight balls after starting with a foul ball down the first base line, and it is a leadoff walk for Sparks, and the Chargers have a man aboard.
That's exactly what you're looking for right there out of a leadoff guy. Get down on one and then be disciplined to the zone and find a way on base.
Carter Irons, a junior third baseman, bats from the right side against Keck, making his 6th appearance, 3.50 earned run average, and the fastball right in at the knees, 0-1 on Irons. Irons, a .333 hitter. Stretch, check of the runner, and the pitch. Another good fastball, painted the black right at the knees. Keep it in that location, and you can have a pretty good day.
Yeah, that's exactly where you want to put it. He's done a good job of getting a first pitch strike. Let's see if he can finish the at-bat here.
Brady Keck goes to the stretch. And the 0-2 pitch, runner goes. It is just a little down and out, and a stolen base without a throw. Bobbled a bit by Jack Mormon, the catcher, and Sparks now into scoring position with a stolen base.
Didn't get the greatest of jumps right there, but the bobble from the catcher made that possible.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch grounded left side to short, and it takes a funny hop and gets past Fry and into left field. Rounding third, coming in with the game's first run, is Jackson Sparks. That might go as a bad hop base hit.
You love those as a hitter, don't you? That's like a sun ball, and the outfielder loses the ball in the sun and you get a double. That's a good feeling right there. I think, for Landon right there, the runner was trying to take third, and eyes might have peaked up a little with that bad hop too. Kind of just a storm of things right there.
Yeah, that runner on second goes in front of the short, blinds him for a moment. That pitch way up and in, and that'll be a wild pitch back to the backstop. Going down to second base is Carter Irons.
Just need a deep breath from the Snider team right now. You have that kind of unfortunate hop. You don't want things to snowball right here. Try to get back in the zone, get some weak contact. Try to just get one out. Try to start with one.
Xavier Edgar with the 1-0 pitch goes to a breaking ball, and that stays upstairs. It's 2-0. Keck has fallen behind the Chargers left fielder, who's a .383 hitter on the season. Check of the runner at second, the 2-0 fastball at the knees, again on the outside corner, 2-1. As a hitter, you want that 2-0 pitch, but you also want the discipline to look for your spot, and that was a pitcher's pitch.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to tip your cap.
2-1. That's in the air. Well hit to right. Back is Garcia, and it's over his head. It's going to roll to the track. Rounding third, Irons is going to come in to score. Rounding second, looking for three, is Edgar, and he is in without a play. A run-scoring triple by Xavier Edgar. And the first three all aboard here in the top of the first. 2 runs are in. Chargers on top early.
That was a really good piece of hitting right there. 2-0, he takes the heater, dotted away. And then with a runner on second, nobody out, really the biggest goal there is to get that runner to third. So gets a fastball over the middle of the plate and uses the right side of the field and gets rewarded for trying to do the right thing with an RBI triple.
First triple of the year for Edgar. And now it's cleanup hitter Eli Neuheiser, and the pitch is up and in. Tried to start him off with a breaking ball that just didn't have a whole lot of break. Neuheiser, a .333 hitter. Bats from the right side against the right-hander Brady Keck. And the pitch, check swing, it's a strike. And that evens up the count 1-1.
As a hitter right here with the infield back, man, just trying to get a ball in play and get you another run. That should be the big focus right here.
And the pitch is fouled straight back and out of play. Keck is now ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes, with Edgar, the runner, at third. Neuhauser at the plate. Braden Chrisley waits in the on-deck circle. The stretch, the 1-2. That bounces.
This is where they talk. This is where you make your money as an RBI guy. These are the RBIs, that throughout a season, these are the ones. This is how you go for 100 RBIs in a big league season: is infield back, nobody out. All you got to do is put a ball in play, and so these are big situations right here.
The 2-2 pitch, curveball, and it's in on the hands and fouled straight back over the screen. Count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes on Neuhauser. Just a sophomore.
Big sophomore.
Yeah,
sophomore.
6'3", 225-pounder. The pitch and a check swing fouled into near the Snider dugout over on the first base side.
Brady just needs a put-away pitch here. He's having a hard time, trying to put these guys away with 2 strikes. Needs to land that curveball just a little more down in the zone. Try to get a chase.
The pitch and a fastball, and I think he tried to get a little extra on it. He skipped it in, and a nice one-handed snag by Mormon, the catcher, to keep Edgar down at third.
Really good play from the catcher there.
Gone the distance, 3 balls, 2 strikes on the cleanup hitter. The pitch, curveball on the 3-2, but good job for Neuhauser to get a little piece of it.
Yeah, it's just too much, a little too much of the zone, you know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to walk this guy 3-2 count, give him another free pass. I'd like to see him challenge him with a heater right here. He's been late on the heaters. Try to go letter high. Try to get a chase.
Keck goes to the stretch and the payoff pitch, and that is lifted in the air, plenty deep to bring in a run. Drifting back, Jarvis has room at a step in front of the track, makes the catch, and tagging at third, and coming in with the 3rd run of the inning is Xavier Edgar, and the Chargers now up 3-0. We're still in the top of the first inning with 1 out.
Really good piece of hitting right there again. Gets a hanging slider, 3-2, doesn't try to do too much, gets the ball in the air, gets the job done, and Carroll out to an early 3-0 lead here.
So with 1 out, bases are empty for Braden Chrisley. Open stance from the right side, and the first pitch, curveball, catches the outside corner. That's the location you want for that breaker.
Yeah, that's the one. He could have used that a couple times in the last couple at bats for sure.
0-1 pitch, another breaking ball, and he put it in the same spot. Now he's starting to get the feel and the rhythm, and that happens sometimes with pitchers, especially on a cold day. You got to get the feel of the baseball.
100%. You got to find that release point.
0-2, the pitch. Went to it again.
Yeah. Another really good one right there. That was a really good take. Good take.
That's that variation of the curveball where you want the strikeout pitch. So you go hard curve, start it in the zone, break it down to the ankles, and then he elevates a fastball, but it's a little too high to even up the count 2-2. It's a pretty good sequence.
Another really good pitch. Yeah, I think here comes another slider down and away.
The 2-2. Good call from Josh VanMeter.
Missed his location a little bit. I'd like to see him really try to go back to that down and away slider, really try to nail that thing. I think he could get a chase, get a swing and a miss.
The pitch grounded toward the middle of the diamond over his shortstop, Landon Fry. The scoop, the throw, and he's out at first.
Another well-located slider right there. Fooled the hitter. Gets a weak ground out. That would be big for his confidence going forward.
2 outs, bases empty. 3 runs are in here in the top of the first inning for the Carroll Chargers, and it's first baseman Tyler Morris, 368 average on the year. No home runs. He's knocked in 7 on the season. Another right-handed hitter. Keck continues to work from the stretch with the bases empty, and the first pitch is a fastball, and it's just a little below the knees on the outside corner for ball 1. Keck works quickly, and the pitch. Good off-speed breaking ball. Pulled a little something off and had a Morris out in front of it.
Yeah. Another really good slider, curveball. He's finding command for that pitch right now. See if he stays with it. Yep.
Goes upstairs, and that makes it a 2-1 count on Morris, the senior first baseman for the Chargers. Brady Keck. The pitch, broke that one off the plate, low and outside, and it's 3-1.
2-1 right there, kind of bailing out to a slider. You'd like to see him try to just locate a fastball, right? Like try to find that feel here.
And he tries to throw a fastball, and it seems like on the fastball he's trying to find a little extra velocity. He skips that one in. Sometimes when you rush and you end up holding on to it a little too long.
There's times throughout a lineup where sometimes you just got to find your feel. You know what I mean? When you get, nobody on, 2 outs, it's a really good time to just take a little off the gas and try to find, the precision a little bit more.
Aiden Corzine, right-handed batter, takes good fastball on the outside corner. It's one of those things, too, that younger pitchers, I say young, meaning high school age guys, sometimes they always feel like they're effective when they get swings and misses. But sometimes contact isn't the worst thing.
No, it's, I think that's kind of the trickle-down effect from the big league game, right? Like everybody in the big leagues is chasing swing and miss, chasing chase. And, it's a little different game between, high school and the big leagues. Their stuff up there is a little bit different. I think it's super important. Ooh, nice pickoff move. About got him. It's super important for these, young guys. Weak contact at this age and these levels is really what you're chasing, right? Like that's how you go 7 innings in a high school game. That's how you go through 6 innings on 75 pitches, is being able to induce weak contact. And, I think the best pitchers, the most successful pitchers, especially at this level, really master that first before they master the swing and miss.
Yeah, when you get to 2 strikes, then you have a strikeout pitch. But up to that point, you just try to pitch to weak contact. And if you happen to get a couple of foul balls, there's a pitch that just missed a little high. And the count is 1-1 on Corzine. Keck, the stretch, throw to first, and it gets past the first baseman, Hess. He'll have to chase it down all the way back to the fence, and heading to second base is Tyler Morris. That'll go as an error on the pitcher.
I was just thinking, man, that there would have been a good time for just a mound visit at some point in this inning, right? Just to settle down. Just to settle down the pitcher and just try to settle down really the whole team, kind of catch their breath, you knew Dave was going to have this Carroll team ready to go for this game. And been a long inning.
Good curveball.
Yeah, really good one right there.
Dropped it in for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Corzine. We got 2 outs, runner at second. 3 runs are in here in the top of the first for the Carroll Chargers. And the pitch, swing and a miss. And that's the way you end a rough top of the first for Brady Keck. 3 runs come in on a couple of hits and a couple of walks, and 1 runner left on base. Chargers score 3. Snider coming to bat. We're in the first. It's the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Welcome back to Hawley Field here in the east side of Fort Wayne. After a half inning of play, the Carroll Chargers have a 3-0 lead over the Snider Panthers. Brett Rump alongside Josh VanMeter. Adam Lundy is our studio producer, and the Snider Panthers will look to respond. As we mentioned, a team that hits 392 collectively, also scores almost 14 runs a game. So I'm sure they're not too phased being down 3 early, as Brandon Logan takes a curveball from Kyle Young, a sophomore right-handed hurler. 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. I'll tell you what, Josh, you're probably not old enough to remember, but I look out there at the mound and I feel like I'm looking at a young Kent Tekulve.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't remember that name. I don't know if I'm well. I don't remember.
Anybody got a Tekulve up here in the press box?
I don't remember that. I don't know that. What is that?
Kent Tekulve. I'll let you Google it. Here's a ball driven deep to left. Back is Edgar at the track, at the wall, and it goes out of his glove. Logan already to second base, and he'll stop there. Man, that ball was high, it was driven, and it was carrying. And the ballpark just a little too big for Logan to knock out his 3rd home run of the season. But he gets a leadoff double, and here comes Snider.
Yeah, it's a good way to start. This is a really big inning for both teams. Snider, you really need to respond here with at least 1. And for Carroll, man, what a huge shutdown inning this could possibly be for them going forward in this game.
Senior right-handed hitter Cam Davis. And we've got a balk, and that's going to send Logan over to third.
This is the thing that good teams do, you know what I mean? Like, they never let you get comfortable. Young guy on the mound, leadoff double, and now, game starts to speed up a little bit.
The stretch, the pitch, and it's fouled straight back.
Yeah, I think the breaking ball is going to be huge here. I think that looks like the plan of attack, even from pitch 1, and see how Snider handles it.
Here comes the 0-1. Good breaking ball. Catches the outside corner, and it puts Young ahead of Davis, 0-2.
Got to imagine he goes back to that breaking ball here.
The 0-2. Fastball in tight, and it might have clipped Davis. He's going to head down to first. Umpire agrees that it just clipped a little piece of him en route to the catcher. Didn't get a lot, but it doesn't have to. And so a hit by pitch. Runners now on the corners with nobody out for Landon Fry.
With Landon coming up here, there's an old saying, the sacrifice flies can be a little bit of rally killers. So it wouldn't be the worst thing here to just get a weak fly ball, deep fly ball, get an out here for Young and on to the next hitter.
Here comes the pitch to Fry, and it's a fastball that's just an inch or two outside. 1-0 on the senior shortstop. We saw him pitch last week.
Oh, wow.
And the pitch lined into left field for a base hit. Trotting in with the game's first run for the Panthers is Brandon Logan. And an RBI single for Fry as Davis stops at second. So there's runners at first and second, nobody out, and this is the type of response. You mentioned it. Good teams have an answer when the other team scores against you.
No doubt. When you kind of get punched in the face there in the top of the first, right, and to be able to come out and have a start like this is got to be really encouraging for the Snider program.
Team leading 20th RBI for Landon Fry, and now it's Isaiah Snavely, left-handed hitter, and a breaking ball is in there for a strike. 0-1.
Kent Tekulve's a good call. Yeah. That's a good call right there. That's a good call right there. Did he?
Tekulve was a left hand or a side armor.
Okay.
Here comes the 0-1, and he went again to a breaking ball that's in on the hands and fouled over on the first base side. And Young's ahead of Isaiah Snavely, 0-2.
Young has got that breaking ball working. You know, I would really stick with that. You know, I don't think that Snider is putting great swings on that breaking ball. Let's see what he goes to here.
The stretch and the 0-2 pitch, fastball away, might just be setting up the backdoor breaker.
That's what I would expect to come right here, Brett. That's what I would expect for sure. He's gone in with it a couple times already. Let's see if he kind of tries to go off that same line and backdoor it a little bit here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Check of the runner at second and the pitch. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
left it a little bit over the plate, but I think he was going for that backdoor breaker, and that curveball effective here early for Young, and that's the first out, bottom of the first.
Yeah, it just kind of starts on that same line as that heater up and away. The pitch before, they call that tunneling, and kind of just saw it in Snavely's swing there. There was a little pause when the foot got down, and timing just got thrown off a little bit.
Brady Keck tries to help himself. Right-handed hitter, chopper to short. The scoop, the throw to third to get the lead runner. McKeever gets Davis over at third.
Really intelligent play right there. I don't know if he would have had a chance at second or at first. And just kind of with the momentum where the ball was taking him, he just goes to third and gets the force out. Really nice play right there.
Yeah, the chopper to the third base side of shortstop Remington McKeever. And he just followed his momentum through to Carter Irons, the third baseman. And now there's 2 away for Jack Moorman. Runners at first and second. 3-1. We're in the first. The stretch and the pitch, a fastball that rides high and inside on Moorman.
Yeah, he's got that fastball that kind of just runs a little bit, and when you don't get that release point out front, that's kind of the miss, that up and away miss, up and in miss to a righty.
2 looks to second, and timeout called at the plate just as Young started his delivery, but
okay, I think that was a curveball. There's an old thing that, you know, when you call time, you step out. Whatever he threw right there, they normally go right back to it on this pitch. Let's see what he goes with here.
Here's the pitch, and he goes to a fastball, bad handled in the air, a weak liner to short, and it's handled by Remington McKeever, and that retires the side. Good start for the Panthers. Only 1 across, so after 1 complete, the Carroll Chargers 3, Snider Panthers 1. And you're listening to High School Baseball, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine and PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. 3-1, Carroll leads it after 1 inning of play. Brett Rump with Josh VanMeter. And the Chargers come to bat with hitters 8, 9, and 1 due to face Brady Keck.
Number 21. Kyle.
See if Keck has settled down. If getting through that first inning and finishing it off with a strikeout, if he feels a little more comfortable here in the second.
At the bottom of the lineup, you know, really important to get strike 1 here.
Kyle Young, his counterpart, takes a pitch down and away for ball 1. Young only his second at bat this season. That fastball tails in, and it's 2-0.
Second at bat of the year. This big game for Young today.
Good curveball on the 2-0.
A little more feel for that breaking ball than the fastball today for Keck.
Kind of tells you something when it's 2-0 and he goes to the curve.
Yeah.
And another curveball, and he got a little check swing out of Young, and it's 2-2.
As a hitter, that tells you all you need to know, pretty much. You know, when 2-0 to the 8-hole hitter is a breaking ball.
He sticks with it, and it's fouled over to the Carroll dugout.
Yeah, if I'm in the dugout and I'm on the Carroll team, I see that, and it's like, hey, guys, we might as well just look for that, because that's really the only thing he can throw for a strike right now.
Tries to go to a fastball, and again, it looks like he's just overthrowing it. That front side just kind of peels off toward the first base side. Payoff, and he goes to a curveball again, and it's grounded over toward Dave Ginder, the Chargers head coach.
You do see it. The front shoulder on the breaking ball stays perpendicular with the plate in a straight line a lot longer than the heater.
3-2, breaking ball, and it broke just off the plate. Ball 4, didn't miss by much. Heck of a take for Kyle Young. And he starts the inning the same way the Chargers started the first, with a base on balls.
You know, that's one of the parts of the game, right? Like, if he's dotting both sides of the plate and throwing a lot of strikes, he probably gets that call. But, you know, the fact that it's kind of been spraying around a little bit, you know, it's hard to get that call when you're constantly in 3-ball counts. And, you know, you really got to dial in and get back into the strike zone.
Jackson Craker steps into the left-handed batter's box, and he squares like he's bunting, but the curveball stays high and outside for ball 1. A throw down to first, and not much of a lead for Kyle Young.
Looking to bunt right here from the 9-hole hitter. You know, do his job here, move the runner, roll the lineup over, and see what the top can do.
Stretch, the pitch, fastball, and again he's down low. 2 balls, no strikes on the number 9 hitter. Craker hitting .280 on the season. The right-hander goes to the set, delivers, and a swing and a miss at a fastball around the knees. 2-1.
So Dave let him swing it there, you know, with 2-0. Let's see, 2-1 count. Let's see if they go back to the bunt, or you know, he lets the young guy swing it here.
Stretch. The 2-1. And he shows bunt, pops it in the air, and it's going to be dropped by the pitcher. Now they got a chance at the lead runner out at second, and they'll throw down and retire Kyle Young. And I think that time Keck took his eye off it. He wanted to look over to first to see if he had a chance at a double play on that easy pop-up bunt. Dropped right out of the glove, but alertly they picked it up and had all kinds of time to get the lead runner, Kyle Young, at second, but
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, no sacrifice. Runner still at first, 1 out, and it's top of the order with Jackson Sparks. The pitch, fastball high.
It only becomes a big deal if we get a stolen base right here, because Young had no intention of swiping a bag. Let's see what Carroll does here.
The 1-0 curveball stayed high. 2-0. Trying to remember my official scorekeeping responsibilities here. Is that go as a sacrifice fielder's choice, or is that that's a bad bunt? So yeah, that can't be a sacrifice.
No, that's not a sacrifice.
That's just a straight FC.
Yeah.
Drifting off first, Craker. They throw behind him, and they're gonna get him at first base. That secondary lead, he was about 30 feet off the bag. And alertly, Moorman throws behind the runner to first baseman Noah Hess, and Jackson Craker completely out to dry over there at first.
Tough sequence for Craker there. You know, you have the bunt, and then you get picked off. You just go back to the dugout, resettle, take a deep breath, get back after it.
Curveball's upstairs, and that's a free pass for the second time in the game to Jackson Sparks, hitting in the leadoff spot for Carroll. And it brings up Carter Irons with 2 outs.
2 out walks normally come back to bite you. We'll see what happens here for Keck.
Stretch. The pitch to Irons. Lifted weakly in the air over Logan into right center, and he'll make a running catch. Little off the end of the bat, but Logan covers a lot of real estate out there in center. That ends the Chargers' second inning. No runs across, no hits, 1 runner left on base, and after an inning and a half, it's still the Chargers 3, Snider 1 on the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. 3-1 game, Chargers leading Snider as we start the bottom of the second. Hess chops it to the opposite side of the infield, and charging at third is Carter Irons, making a nice play, and the first batter's up. 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring up Trevor Jarvis.
Nice play by Carter there. Get it on the short hop, take a shuffle, got plenty of time. Good throw, secure the catch. Big out right there on 1 pitch for Young.
Bottom third of the order batting here in the second for the Panthers. It's number 8 hitter, Trevor Jarvis, the only batter in the starting lineup that doesn't hit at least 300.
It's probably still pretty good.
273.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. I mean, that's like an embarrassment of riches. You know what I mean? It's got to be a good feeling for Snider.
A split of the first two pitches, a 1-1 is on its way, and a fastball's high and inside, 2-1. Jarvis with a home run and 10 RBIs on the year to go with his .273 average. The pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball, 2-2. Taking a look at the Snider defense on the infield at third, or the Carroll defense. At third, you've got Carter Irons, Remington McKeever at short, Eli Newhouser at second, Tyler Morris at first. The pitch is up and in, and it's gone the distance, 3-2 on Jarvis. The outfield left to right, Xavier Edgar, Jackson Sparks, and Jackson Craker. Braden Chrisley does the catching, and the pitch, a breaking ball that hits the outside corner, a called strike 3.
Man, tough call there for Jarvis. Feels like that's been a pitch that's kind of been a ball with 2 strikes so far in this game. It's one of those things that happens, and gotta try to flush it and move on and try to create something here for Snider. 2 outs, bases empty. 9-hitter Jaden Garcia from the right-handed batter's box hits it straight up in the air and behind us, out of play. Young has jumped in front of Garcia, 0-1. Really good start for Young here in the second inning. See if he can get out of here with a quick one. From the stretch, slow breaking ball drops in, and it's 0-2 on Garcia. Gave up on that one, just decided he didn't want anything to do with the 0-1 curve. The fastball, and again, that arm side tail that goes into the right-handed hitter, and it's inside, 1-2. Got to believe a breaking ball's coming right here, Brett. The stretch and the 1-2, and he goes breaking ball, got a swing and a miss at a pitch outside the zone, and they have to throw to first to complete the putout, but it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the second for the Snider Panthers, and the Chargers still in front, 3-1 as we head to the third here at Hawley Field. You're listening to the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Tough part of the order for Snider right-hander Brady Keck, as he's going to face hitters 3, 4, and 5. Xavier Edgar that leads it off, and the first pitch misses down and away, and the second pitch also misses the zone low. It's 2-0 on Edgar, a .383 hitter who tripled his first time up. The 2-0. Again, just getting ahead of that fastball. The arm, you mentioned it earlier, that front arm, the front side just kind of clears out too early. Yep. He tries to rush the arm then to catch up, and it just throws it right into the dirt. Yep. 3-0. And another one. Yeah, just might be one of those days for Keck. You don't have the best command. You hear big league guys talk about this all the time, right? Like when they feel like they don't have their best stuff, still just got to find a way to go out there and compete and try to give your team a chance to win. And that's really what you're looking for, Keck, right here. You give up 3 in the first. Let's see if you can get through 3 or 4 and not give up any more. So a 4-pitch walk to Edgar, and the pitch to Eli Newhouser is down and outside, and it's 5 straight balls. That's the third consecutive inning, by the way. The leadoff batter walked. It's not how you draw it up as a coach, for sure. Runner goes, pitches inside, throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base for Xavier Edgar. I think this is getting to the point for Keck, too. Like, you got to think about getting somebody warm. He's thrown a lot of pitches here in the first, 2 innings and hasn't really been able to command the ball. And, I think Snider should think about getting somebody up. Curveball, and it stays upstairs. And it is 3-0 now, and 7 straight out of the zone to start the third for right-hander Brady Keck of Snider. The 3-0. That's in there for a strike. This would be really big for Keck here if he can find a way to get this guy out right here. Be huge for his confidence. Newhouser knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly his first time up, and the 3-1 is in the dirt. And it's back-to-back walks starting the Chargers third, already leading at 3-1. And we're going to have a mound visit. Yeah. Yeah, this is, for Carroll as on the hitting side of this, right? Like, have a guy that's really having a tough time finding the zone. So you can go up there and you can look in one spot in one location, and anything outside of that, you take your chances that it's going to be a ball, because that's kind of what he's showing you right now. So he's making it kind of easy for this Carroll lineup. Hopefully this mound visit can talk some mechanics or whatever it is, get him back on track, and just get him back in the zone consistently.
Taking a look at Snider defensively. On the infield, third to first, Isaiah Snavely, Landon Fry, Cam Davis, and Noah Hess. The outfield, left to right, has Trevor Jarvis, Brandon Logan, and Jaden Garcia. Jack Moorman catches, and Brady Keck, Panther starter here in Game 1 of 2. We will broadcast Game 1, but they will play a doubleheader here today, and I guess I should say weather permitting, although it just looks like it's going to be a gray, cool day here on the east side of town.
A nice Indiana spring baseball game, right? And we're into May. It should be,
I thought we'd be warmer.
65, 70, but hey, it's still Indiana, right?
Temps in the low 50s when the game got started.
It could be much worse, though.
3-1 Chargers lead, 2 on board, nobody out, and the pitch, a strike. They throw down to second, but scampering back is Edgar.
Really smart play there by Snider. In a bunt situation, if a guy misses a bunt, it's always, instinctually to try to pick the runner at second. It's a really smart play by Snider right there.
Braden Chrisley, a senior catcher, shows bunt and then pulls the bat back last second, and that's high and inside. Evens the count up 1-1.
Carroll trying to go with the sack bunt again. Really, really important to get this ball on the ground.
Stretch, the pitch, and he does bunt it first base side. Scooped up by Hess. He'll turn and throw to second baseman Cam Davis covering the first base bag, and it's an effective sacrifice, moving both runners into scoring position by Braden Chrisley.
Very nice right there, getting that bunt to first base, make the first baseman charge it, make the decision on him, and gets the job done for his team. Let's see if they can capitalize on it right here. Another 2 runs would be huge for this Carroll squad.
It's a 368 hitter, Tyler Morris, who walked his first time up. Morris, a 6-foot, 190-pounder, batting from the right side. And the pitch, curveball, never curved. It stayed high and inside for ball 1.
It's another one of those situations. You got the infield back, the middle guy's back. Just try to find a way here to just put a ball in play.
The 1-0 fastball right down the chute. Evens the count up 1-1 on Morris.
I wonder if Morris is looking for a breaking ball here.
Got a fastball, but it's a little low, and it's 2-1.
I was kind of surprised he took that fastball, especially with runners in scoring position. See what he's thinking here throughout the at-bat.
The stretch and the 2-1 fastball at the knees on the outside corner. Well, if you talked about it earlier, if you're Carroll, you almost go up there feeling like Keck can't get the fastball in the zone. Mm-hmm. So you might be just sitting back waiting for a hanging curveball.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-2, and that's a little high, and it's a full count now for Tyler Morris.
That's part of hitting, though, that can change with the situation of the game, right? You got runners in scoring position.
Popped up, foul ground, giving Chase Moorman the catcher. He runs out of room, and it's about 3 rows back on the bleachers.
That's where you can't be. Nothing's cookie cutter, right? The game is always going to tell you what it wants from you. And, when you have no one on, runner on first, runner on second, you really want to stay disciplined to really get them in one spot. But when, the game kind of opens up like this, you got runners in scoring position, I think it's a better time to maybe expand the zone a little bit just to try to get a run across.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, chop foul, third base side. And Morris up there just staying alive, extending the at-bat.
Yeah, this is what you want to do as a hitter, a guy who's kind of laboring through this game. Just keep making him work, making him prove that he can get in the zone, and see what Morris does here.
The payoff. That's chopped on the ground left side. Runners hold, fielded by Fry. Throw to first, retires Morris, but then the break to the plate, and Edgar comes in to score
Super interesting base running right there, Brett.
Didn't go on contact.
Yeah, we got middle infield back, and we didn't go on contact, and then we go on the throw across. I don't know if I haven't seen that in a long time, a guy score on a throw across in the infield.
You're not going to see it at the MLB level.
No, but hey, it got the job done, and so they don't ask how. You know what I mean? They just take it for what it is.
Unless your name's De La Cruz, and then you might be able to beat a ball like that, but not too often.
No, yeah, that guy's a freak, huh?
First pitch to Aiden Corzine is ball 1, and then he swings and chops it off his front leg.
I think he's a perfect microcosm, though, of where baseball is going. Baseball is becoming a much more athletic sport than I think it's been over the past. I think you're seeing a lot more athleticism in the game, and you'll see that trickle. You know, Brandon Logan's a great example of it, right?
Curveball, high chopper up the middle. Over to the middle of the diamond is Davis. He has to throw quickly, and it's not in time. Good scoop at first by Hess, and a bang-bang play. Corzine beats it out, and that will bring in another run for the Chargers, who expand the lead to 5-1.
That was a heck of a play by the second baseman right there. I couldn't tell if he was. My eyes aren't that good anymore, Brad. I can't see it from here. Whether he was. It's a different vantage point than I'm used to up here.
So with the runner at first, the batter is Kyle Young, and he takes a pitch high and inside. Quickly, it is 2-0 on Young. The pitch, curveball, just outside, 3-0.
Well, you called it for Keck in this inning, coming in this inning, that it could have been a tough inning, just where they were in the lineup, how he's been throwing, and it's been another tough inning for Keck, but got a chance to get out of it here.
In the air, shallow center, drifting back, shortstop Landon Fry, and on the back of the infield dirt, Fry will catch it, and the side retired. But a couple of runs do score for the Chargers, and they get no hit or one hit, and a couple of walks, and they leave a runner on base. So after 2.5 innings here at Hawley Field, it is now Carroll 5, Snider 1. On the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Down 5-1. Panthers come to bat in the bottom of the third, and they got the top of the order, and Logan gets a curveball, lifts it high and deep to left center, but drifting back and making the catch, Jackson Sparks. It's one pitch, one out for the Panthers. Josh, you mentioned just before we came back from break, this is an important inning for Snider. They've got the top of the order. They're down now 5-1. They've got to start doing something offensively.
Big inning. You know, 1, 2, 3 inning here would probably be the worst thing for Snider here. They got to find a way to get some base runners and cause some havoc.
Cam Davis, right-handed hitter, the Panthers' second baseman, takes a pitch low and outside for ball 1. And Davis hit by a pitch his first time up.
Especially with Logan making a one-pitch out. You know, it's just with a strike there from Young, curveball, landed it again. That one-pitch out is just a big deal. You know, Young's cruising through these innings, not having to work very hard.
The 1-1 is a curveball down low. 2-1.
And it's just, you know, you got to find a way to manufacture something here at some point. Try to muddy up the game a little bit, make it ugly, and try to cause some havoc.
Pitch, and on the hand, straight up in the air. It's on the infield. Third baseman Carter Irons calling, and he will make the catch. It's 2 up, 2 down. So far, so good for Kyle Young and the Carroll Chargers here in the bottom of the third.
If you're Dave Ginder, man, I think he's got to be pumped over there in that dugout, right? What he's getting from Young, you know, what he's been able to do with this lineup, especially if he goes 1, 2, 3 in this inning against these guys, and gonna have an excited Carroll team over there.
Young works from the stretch with the bases empty. 2 outs. Bottom of the third. Carroll leads at 5-1, and a breaking pitch to Landon Fry goes low and outside for ball 1. Young delivers, and it's low and inside, and it's 2-0. He's behind the number 3 hitter in this Snider lineup, who singled his first time up.
Super important thing for the Snider guys here. Obviously, there's a lot of talent, but you can't get 4 runs in one swing with nobody on base, right? Like, you got to go up there, have productive at bats.
And that's productive, but it's going to be caught he got good.
He got off the end a little
on
bit.
it.
Yeah,
but,
got it off the end a little bit.
Yeah, but it just a little off the end, so it kind of died out in left field. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Not a good thing for Snider.
That's exactly how you draw it up if you're Carroll right there.
3 balls in the air, 3 outs, and so we go to the 4th, and the Chargers still in front of the Snider Panthers 5-1 on the PSM High School Baseball Game of the Week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. To the 4th inning with a 5-1 Carroll lead, and it's 9-1-2 to face Brady Keck. The first pitch misses the outside corner, and this one's down in the dirt. It's 2-0. And, well, as we've kind of seen already,
it's kind of been the moral of the story, honestly, today. Just falling behind 1-0, 2-0, 3-ball counts has just kind of been the enemy for Keck today.
Keck's walked the leadoff hitter of each inning. And they swing at the 2-0, and it's grounded right to first baseman Noah Hess. He'll take care of business himself. I'm surprised. Craker, as a number 9 hitter, didn't have the red light on with a 2-0 count.
Yeah, really surprising there that he went after that pitch. Just, kind of knowing your role as the player on this team, being in that 9-hole. You just got to do anything you can to find a way on base, and best opportunity right there looked like a walk at that time.
Back to the top for Jackson Sparks, and he takes a fastball at the knees for a strike, 0-1.
So that time for Keck, man, you really got to play into contact. Try to get contact here.
Fastball tails away from the left-handed hitter. Evens the count up 1-1. Chargers with 3 in the first. Set the early statement, added 2 more in the third. And lifted in the air, right field. Jaden Garcia drifts in a few steps and lost it. It went off his glove. He dropped it. And Sparks is going to reach. That'll be an error on right fielder Jaden Garcia. And with 1 out, Chargers have a base runner.
Yeah, just one of those plays. Mistakes happen. You're going to make mistakes. Unfortunately, that's a tough one. Keck finally got some weak contact. Let's see if he can do it again here with a weak ground ball, trying to start a double play.
Carter Irons bats for the 3rd time. Runner goes. Pitch is taken. Throw down to second. It's a little high, and Davis tried to swipe the tag down quickly, but sliding in is Jackson Sparks with a stolen base. He's into scoring position with his second swipe of the day. Curveball, line toward center field. Logan takes a couple of steps back, reaches up, makes the catch. And no advancement for Sparks. Will not challenge the arm of Brandon Logan.
A really good swing right there. Just that's baseball. There's 8 guys playing defense against 1 hitter, so it's always tough, right? But this would be big for Keck. You have the mistake in right field, then the stolen base. It'd be really big for him to get out of this inning unscathed.
Xavier Edgar takes a pitch up and in, ball 1. Edgar so far a pretty good day. A triple, run-scoring triple back at the first. He came in to score the 3rd run of the first inning and walked and scored with a stolen base in the 3rd. Runner goes for 3rd. Pitch taken. Ball on a bounce to third baseman Isaiah Snavely, and it actually hit the runner as he slid into third base bag. So it's a stolen base for Sparks.
Good job keeping that ball in front by Snavely. Last thing you want there is a ball going into left field and giving up another run.
And it's chopped to third baseman Isaiah Snavely. He bobbles it, and that's going to allow another run to come in.
When it rains, it pours, Brett.
So a 2-out error on a chopper to third, and it's now 6-1, Carroll.
Yeah, just, one of those things for Snider right now. They just got to regroup and get back to playing their game.
So Sparks scores, reaches base on an error on the right fielder, steals 2 bases, and then trots in from third on an error on the third baseman. Eli Newhouser takes a fastball up high for ball 1.
That's what good teams do, though, Brett. You make mistakes, they capitalize on them, right? Like good programs, good teams, they take advantage when you make mistakes.
There goes the runner. The pitch taken down and in. The throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Xavier Edgar. That's his second of the day.
Yeah, good jump right there from Edgar. Carroll just causing havoc on the bases, right? That's just leading to these runs one after another.
Keck, the stretch, and the pitch. And again, it tails high and inside. And he's fallen behind 3-0 to the cleanup hitter for the Carroll Chargers. Here's the pitch, taking all the way. Neuheiser looks at a strike. 3-1.
I've been impressed with this Neuheiser. These at-bats he's putting together for a sophomore, right? Big sophomore, good build.
Oh, it's high and inside. Little chin music.
That's right.
Neuheiser.
Yeah, sophomore.
Might not be old enough to shave. He just got one.
Yeah.
And so 2 runners aboard now at first and second, and I think that's going to be the end for Brady Keck as a Snider reliever trots in from the bullpen. We'll tell you about the changes when we return. A 6-1 Carroll lead here in the 4th over the Snider Panthers on the PSM Baseball High School Baseball Game of the Week. 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. The new Snider pitcher coming into the game here in the top of the 4th. Already one across for the Carroll Chargers, who've expanded their lead to 6-1. And it is Zach Schaller, a sophomore right-hander, who comes in relief of Snider starter Brady Keck. Keck goes the first 3 2/3. Kind of a rough day for Keck, just finding the strike zone consistently.
Yeah, and for Carroll, man, with this being a doubleheader, the favor is really with them. You make Snider use some more pitching, get to that bullpen. Starter only goes 3 2/3, and this is setting up good for Carroll so far today with another game coming.
To give you an idea of what type of day it's been, Carroll has made the most of their 3 hits. The stretch and the pitch to Braden Chrislieb is taken for a strike, 0-1. Chrislieb, a right-handed hitter who's 0 for 1 officially with a ground out to short, also a sacrificed bunt. And that a check swing on a pitch that tailed in, and it caught the bat. Fouls over to the screen on the first base side. And quickly, Schaller has gotten ahead of Chrislieb, 0-2.
6 runs on 3 hits, pretty efficient, right?
And this one hit hard up the middle of the diamond, and it will make its way into center field. Logan charges, rounding third is Edgar, and he's going to come in to score, but they throw out the runner at second. Threw behind him and caught him, and the run, I believe, is going to count.
Yep.
So to count the run, it's the second of the inning, but it also retires the side, throwing out Neuheiser, who had rounded too far past second base. So a couple of runs on 1 hit, and they leave a runner aboard. We're through 3.5, halfway through the 7-inning contest, and the Chargers lead at 7-1 over the Snider Panthers on the High School Baseball Game of the Week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Moving to the bottom of the 4th, and again attacking the first pitch, cleanup hitter Isaiah Snavely lifts it high in the air to center. Sparks camps under it. Sparks makes the catch, and there is 1 pitch, 1 away. I don't know, Josh, how surprised are you at the aggressiveness of Snider?
This is just one of those frustrating days. It's a hanging breaking ball, good pitch to hit. Snider's is just not doing a whole lot with their opportunity, you know what I mean? And Young's throwing strikes, and so it's not like you can really wait him out. He's getting ahead, another strike right there. Pitch 1, a lot of breaking balls. From that standpoint, it comes down to a game plan for Snider, right? Are we looking for fastballs or are we looking for breaking balls? And now if we're swinging at breaking balls while looking for heaters, that's a different story. But as Young brings it home again, another strike, I think Snider's getting a little over-aggressive, I guess, to answer your point. Now they're kind of swinging at everything. Like I said, trying to get 6 runs back, really, really quick. It's going to take time to try to get that many runs back.
Brady Keck, after a couple of foul balls, finds himself in an 0-2 hole. It's 8 straight retired by Young. And a check swing, and that is...
Call him out. They're going to call him out.
That's strike 3, but it went to the backstop, and because of Keck arguing, he's retired.
That was
he gave himself up, so they called him out. That he might have been able to get to first.
That should have been a drop third strike, I would think.
Yeah, but I think when he argued and didn't go to first. He gave himself up, so they called him out. But if he wouldn't have complained about the ball hitting him, he would have been at first base.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah, somebody should have been yelling at him to run to first, because it's either a foul ball or a drop third strike, or he takes his base on a hit by pitch, right?
Quickly, it is 0-1 on Jack Mormon, and this pitch down and out evens the count up 1-1.
Here we go again with Young. You got 2 outs, and I think he's thrown 6 pitches in this inning, right? You just can't draw it up any better for Carroll today.
Yeah, 9 straight retired. Curveball, and that's lined into center field, and it will drop in front of Jackson Sparks, and that breaks the streak.
There you go.
2-out base hit for Jack Mormon.
Now batting.
Didn't do too much with it. Just kind of flicked through and hit it weakly into center.
That's what you're looking for, though, from Snider. Just getting guys on base, getting the barrel of the ball, trying to string something together. At this point, it's going to take. You're going to have to string some innings together, string some hitters together, and what better way to do it than to start it off with a 2-out hit here, try to get a 2-out rally going.
2 outs, runner at first for Noah Hess. 375 average coming in as a ground out to third on the record today. Curveball's inside, ball 1. Hess, a left-handed batter against the sophomore righty, Kyle Young. The stretch, the pitch, and that one tails way wide. And Young's fallen behind Hess 2-0.
Yeah, no real reason for Young to be super quick to the plate here. He's going with a slide step. You got a 6-run lead. Just try to throw strikes in there.
Missed again outside on a fastball. Well, and you've got Mormon, a catcher, in a 6 or a 7-1 game that probably is not going to take a lot of chances on the bases.
Yeah, they're not going to give up outs on the bases.
The pitch, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Hess, misses outside. And a 2-out rally here for Snider, with runners now at first and second for number 8 hitter Trevor Jarvis.
This is a really good meeting from Dave here, going out to the mound. It's like calling a timeout in basketball after a team goes on a little mini 5-7-0 run, right? Like, you want to try to nip this in the bud as early as possible. You give up the 2-out hit and then a 4-pitch walk. Go out there, settle him down, especially with the 8 or 9 hole hitter coming up. Like, this is one you got to get.
And to stick with the basketball analogy, it's like having a 20-point lead that just got knocked down to 16, and you feel the momentum change.
That's right. You kind of feel the energy. Try to get that calm down as soon as possible.
Jarvis, right-handed hitter against the right-handed hurler, and the first pitch is inside, ball 1. Well, the walk of Hess was the first walk allowed by Young. He did hit a batter in the first inning. The pitch, and that's fouled straight back and over our heads, out of play, and we'll even things up 1-1 on Trevor Jarvis.
Yeah, good job by Young, kind of settling down, getting something there in the zone. Let's see if he goes to the breaking ball here.
The pitch, swing and a miss.
Another fastball. I like it from Young. Let's see what he goes to here with 2 strikes.
The fastball has some tail to it. It comes up and in on those right-handed hitters. They're having a tough time fighting it off. It's a good combo with that breaking pitch. And he goes to the curve, and that's good contact by Jarvis just to foul it back. That pitch was located really well, low and away, and he just reached out and got a piece.
Really good job of spoiling there from Jarvis, buying himself another pitch. Snider's having a really tough time laying off that inside heater that's running in on him.
The 1-2 fastball, and that runs in.
Yep. Good take.
2-2.
Good take right there from Jarvis. He went fastball in, breaking ball away, another fastball in. Got to believe he's going to a breaking ball away here.
A lot of space on the right side of the infield. The pitch, and he hits it in the air toward right center. The outfielder's on the run, and Sparks is going to chase it down. The center fielder makes a nice play in fairly deep right center, sprinting the ball down, and that ends the Snider 4th, and no runs come across. Couple of runners left on base, 1 hit and a walk, And we are through 4 complete, and it is still the Chargers in charge. They lead at 7-1 over the Panthers on the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Heading to the 5th inning here on our high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball. I am Brett Rump with Josh VanMeter, and we're going to ask a little bit about PSM Baseball this inning as Carroll steps up with hitters 7, 8, and 9. Well, correction, it's hitters 6, 7, and 8. It's Tyler Morris that starts it off.
This Carroll lineup's been all really good, 1 through 9, really, today. Everybody's kind of made an impact, and that's how you win games.
Zach Schaller on the mound for Snider, and quickly he gets ahead of Morris after a foul ball out of play on the right side. Makes it 0-2. Morris 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. He walked back in the first, and he takes pitch low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So, Josh, after a Major League Baseball career came to an end, you decided you wanted to give back. And thus we have PSM Baseball Academy as the fastball's down and outside to even it up 2-2. Tell us a little bit about the kind of the formation and the start and where you're at with it.
Yeah, it's just as I was kind of making my decision to retire, as Schaller gets a swing and a miss for strike 3 on a breaking ball right there. When I was making my decision to retire, I was presented with this opportunity to kind of start a baseball division for PSM, and there's some cool developments in the works that kind of really made this decision really easy for me. And really the biggest thing is having a place where kids can feel like they can go and get better, no matter where you're at in your baseball journey, whether it's, you're 10 and you're just getting into it, or you're 16, 17 and you want to play at the next level, right? We're really focused on the training aspect. I put something out on social. Go ahead, Brett.
Just going to say Aiden Corzine fouls the pitch out of play, and that evens the count 1-1.
Yeah, and it's just, the experience I had as a high school kid, the high school teams I played on, and I want every kid to have that experience. The Schaller gets a ground ball right back to him and gets another quick out.
One hopper right back to him.
And it's really, you're going to spend more time developing at the game of baseball outside of your high school than you would in it. You're going to spend more time with either your summer program or whatever it is, really developing and honing your skills.
Kyle Young bats with 2 outs and the base is empty.
And we really want to be that kind of premier organization, and as he, doesn't get a call on the outside corner there, and, we're going to be starting teams here in the new future. We're going to launch teams and really kind of do it the right way. And
2-out base hit lined into center field for Chargers pitcher Kyle Young, and that is his first hit of the season.
And really the big thing for me is, like, the best players in Fort Wayne, we want them playing together. Back when I was an amateur, the best players in Northeast Indiana played on one team. And then you would go compete against the other best players from other areas, and I think that's kind of gotten lost a little bit. And I would love to be the central voice for that and kind of be the program that leads that charge again.
Number 9 hitter Jackson Kraker.
And we want to appeal to, like I said, every player, no matter what part of their journey they're on, whether it's the elite player or your rec player or the player that wants to become the elite player, right?
Lifted opposite way, left field line, over is Jarvis into foul ground, and he outruns the baseball and makes a nice catch, 1 step short of the sideline fence.
Really nice play there by Jarvis to end the inning.
Against a left-handed batter, the left fielder had a long run, but he got to it, and that will end the Chargers here in the top of the 5th inning. They get a hit, they leave a base runner, but the score remains 7-1. Carroll with the lead over Snider on our high school baseball game of the week, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine and PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Snider bats, bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 7-1 to the Carroll Chargers, and Rhett Swoverland is into the 9 spot. Pinch hitting for Jaden Garcia, and the first pitch is fouled. Second pitch is too low. It's a righty-lefty matchup with Swoverland, the left-handed sophomore, 6 feet, 150-pounder. The 1-1 pitch, and he pulled the string in a swing and a miss. Oh, I had the wrong lineup.
They don't have a 14.
No, they don't have a 14. That's why I flipped it over.
Yeah.
So we'll keep trying. But the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a curveball hangs, and he chops it foul. Well, we can tell you it's number 14, but that's the worst play-by-play in radio you can have.
I know, yeah.
Fans at home not looking at a program.
Yeah.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a pitch is downstairs, 2-2.
We're getting it, folks.
Yeah, we're getting there. Steve Zembo, our spotter today. Raiden Morrow with a 2-2 count, and it's outside, and he's had a good at-bat.
Freshman. Big at-bat here for the freshman.
I like
Big at-bat here for the freshman. Get to a 3-2 count. Get his team going. That Snider dugout will get excited if Raiden finds a way on here.
3-2, and he fouls it out of play. Stays alive. Yeah, his whole job here is to try to turn it over to the top of the order.
That's right. You're going to see some juice come out of that Snider dugout if he can find a way on base here.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Kyle Young works from the stretch and the payoff. And it's inside. That is ball 4, and it goes back to the backstop.
This is how it starts, Brett.
Morrow trots down to first base with a leadoff walk, and that's just the second walk allowed in the ballgame by Kyle Young, the Carroll right-hander.
Yeah, really good at bat there from Raiden coming in as a freshman, big spot. You never know when you got an offense like this, a 6-run lead, it can disappear quick. Snider's got to stay disciplined in the zone and try to make something happen here.
Brandon Logan, top of the order for the Panthers. Throw to first and a dive back by Morrow.
Another spot where I don't think Snider would be running here.
And he got plunked on the pitch. It hit Brandon Logan.
Number 2, Cam.
So a walk and a hit by pitch. 2 base runners without the benefit of a base hit. And Logan aboard for the second time in the ball game, and not the way you want the inning to start when you're getting into the late innings. Of course, here we're in the bottom of the 5th, but it's only a 7-inning game.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Coach Kinder here get somebody going in the pen relatively quickly. I think he's going to do some things to try to stall, buy some time, and this is getting into the pressure cooker a little bit for Young here. So really got to buckle down and make some pitches.
Cam Davis, a .469 hitter, squares. Tries to bunt, misses, and it's strike 1.
Unless he's bunting for a hit right there. You got to be bunting for a hit right there, I would think. Third baseman's covering third. If he gets one down to the third baseline here, I think he's got a chance to get a hit out of it, but see if he sticks with it or swings it.
Stretch, the 0-1 from Young, and again he shows bunt. Bunts at first base side, coming in, bobbling it is the first baseman, but he's able to pivot and throw to the second baseman covering to retire Davis at first. Runners do advance, and it ends up being a sacrifice bunt in a 7-1 ball game.
Man, I don't quite understand that one, Brett, with your 2-hole hitter hitting .469. Would have really liked to have swung with your 3-hole hitter coming up. You know what I mean? Like, you need 6 runs, and yeah, I think if he gets it at the third base line, I think it's a hit. Yeah, we'll see what Snider does from here.
Well, Carroll is going to make that the end of the day for Kyle Young. Solid performance by the sophomore against this high-scoring offense. Averages 14 runs a game. And so far, Snider with just 1 run across, but the 2 base runners are the responsibility of the sophomore Kyle Young. The Carroll Chargers will go to the pen, and they're going to call on Aaron Benfelt. Senior right-hander, a 6-foot, 185-pounder. See if he can work his way through the meat of this Snider order. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. In the bottom of the 5th inning, it is 7-1 Carroll leading it over the Snider Panthers on the PSM Baseball Game of the Week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Snider trailing 7-1. Carroll goes to their bullpen for the first time. Aaron Benfelt is the right-hander that will take over, and Snider has hitters 3, 4, and 5 that are coming up. 2 runners are on base. Now it's second and third after the sacrifice bunt. But I know we were talking about PSM baseball and all the exciting news. Now, what's the best way for those that have youngsters, and what age is the ideal age for people to maybe start considering their child getting some specialized training?
Yeah, that's a really tough question to answer. It really depends on where they're at in their journey, but I would say, that 9, 10, 11 range is probably a good place to get started.
Landon Fry takes a fastball on the inside corner, 0-1.
Easiest way to go is you just go to psmbaseball.com, and there'll be a web page right there that'll kind of take you through everything. It'll take you through the booking and everything, and it'll give you pricing, everything. And
that ball's hit on a line the opposite way, and it will get fouled down the right field line. That was close for Fry.
And it'll have the booking and the schedule, and right now we're going Monday through Friday. The hours are a little different on Tuesday and Thursday than the other days, but we're getting after it. It's a great time, if you're in between games or whatever, to just come in and get some extra work right now. You always have to be getting extra work if you're wanting to get better.
The stretch by Benfeld, the check of the runners at second and third, and the pitch. And again, that's fouled out of play on the first base side.
In this game, this is a completely different look for the Snider hitters. Benfeld looks like he's throwing a little bit harder than Young, attacking with fastballs more. We'll see if Snider can make some adjustments here.
7-1, Carroll leads. 2 runners in scoring position, and the pitch is high and tight to Landon Fry. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is another time where if you're Carroll, you are more than happy with a sacrifice fly right here.
Timeout at the plate called by Landon Fry. Fry 1 for 2. Single in the first, knocked in a run, and a fly out to left back in the third. The set, the 1-2. Curveball on the ground toward the middle of the diamond. It takes a Sunday hop and then a high throw to first. Gets away from first baseman Tyler Morris, and 2 runs are going to come in to score. Well, McKeever, the shortstop, moved toward the middle of the diamond and got a convenient hop right up to waist high, but then his throw pulled Morris high in the air, and it got away from him. And so you've got a runner at first, 2 runs are in, still only 1 out. And Isaiah Snavely, the cleanup hitter, steps into the left-handed batter's box.
And this is how things could turn quickly, Brett. You string a couple hits here together, things could get interesting.
Ooh, Snavely just about came out of his shoes on that first swing. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I like Snavely's swing a lot. Just kind of control that effort level a little bit, right? When you get big, it normally doesn't lead to good things.
Chop and foul down the first base line. Benfeld ahead of Snavely, 0-2. Landon Fry, the runner at first. 2 runs are in. It's 7-3. Still a 4-run lead for the Carroll Chargers. Looking for their 10th win of the season against 6 losses. Snider comes in 10-2. The stretch for Benfeld and the pitch. That tails off the outside corner. Now ball and 2 strikes on Snavely, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center. The 1-2. That's outside, 2-2.
This is what you got to do if you're Snider. You gotta make Carroll pitchers earn every single pitch, right? Like you got to make them work, and then hopefully you can get some good pitches to hit and capitalize.
The set, the 2-2. Curveball, and that is hit in the air to right field. Camping under it, Jackson Creeker, and he'll make a catch for the second out of the inning, and trotting back to first, Landon Fry.
Just missed right there, Brett. Just off the end a little bit. Gets a weak fly ball for Carroll here to get to 2 outs. 2 runs out of this whole ordeal would not be bad if you're Carroll, right? Like I think you come away feeling pretty good about that.
It's Brady Keck. And he hits it hard but foul down the third base line. Yeah, here's the other question. We figure at 7-1, Snider wouldn't run, but with 2 outs, do you take a chance and try to get Fry into scoring position?
I wouldn't if I was coaching. I don't think I would probably take that chance. I think at this point.
Well, there he goes.
There he goes.
And the throw down to second, and it's right on target. What a shot by Chris Lieb. And they bang, retire Fry on the stolen base try. That ends the inning.
And that's why I wouldn't try it.
So the inning ends. A couple of runs do come across for the Snider Panthers, and through 5 complete, it's now Carroll 7, Snider 3 on the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Top of the order for the Carroll Chargers in the top of the 6th inning. It starts with Jackson Sparks. He takes a fastball that catches the outside corner, 1-1. Zach Schaller delivers and catches the corner again. It's quickly 0-2.
Schaller's done a good job coming in, just throwing strikes, and you're seeing the product of that, getting quick outs, getting ahead.
3 straight in the same spot. This time Sparks fouls it out of play over the Carroll dugout.
Couldn't draw it up any better for Carroll either after giving up 2 runs and coming back in with the top of the order coming up.
Chop, middle of the diamond, and into center field. It got past Schaller, the pitcher, and it's a base hit for Jackson Sparks, starting the Carroll 6.
Batting number 8, Carter Irons.
Good job by Sparks right there, just, protecting, expanding his zone just a little bit with 2 strikes, and was able to get the barrel to it for a hit up the middle, and I think we're going to see a good chance of him probably running again, trying to steal a base here at some point.
Already a couple of stolen bases. He's off and running on the first pitch. Good throw by Moorman, but it goes off the glove of Davis out at second. And it's a stolen base for Sparks. They had a chance at him. That was a real good throw by Jack Moorman, the Snider catcher.
Yeah, really good. Quick release, put it right on the bag. Just unfortunate that the second baseman couldn't hang on to that ball because they did have him out by about a step.
Sparks now at second. And it's a bunt, and it's a good one. Third base side. Schaller fields it. Quick throw to first and retires Carter Irons. It's a sacrifice advancing Sparks over to third, but good job of fielding his position by right-hander Zach Schaller of Snider.
Really good all the way around right there from Irons, from the bunt, beautiful bunt, and then Schaller making a great play on that ball. Staying under control, delivering a good throw, and able to get an out right there.
So a runner at third base for number 3 hitter Xavier Edgar. Snider's bench wanting to call out something as far as how they want to line up defensively, and the infield is coming in.
Yeah, got to bring the infield in at this point, Brett.
Set, and the pitch. It's low and outside, ball 1 to Edgar, who has rebase each time, had a triple in the first, walked in the third, reached on an error in the fourth. He has scored 3 of the Chargers' 7 runs. Fastball just a little high, and it's 2-0.
It'll be interesting to see if Carroll goes on contact here with the infield in. If they would rather take a chance at scoring, maybe giving up and out at home, or taking the out at first with their cleanup hitter coming up with still a man on third. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Hitters count 2-0. Curveball lifted in the air, center field. Logan charges, makes the catch. They'll fake the tag, and probably a good idea as Logan throws a dart to home.
Yeah, I think obviously a great throw by Logan there, but probably like the biggest reason we probably held right there is because you do have your 4-hole hitter coming up next. You don't want to take the bat out of his hands by taking a chance at a bang play at the plate.
There are 2 outs now in the inning. Runner at third for Eli Newhouser.
Yeah, especially with a 4-run lead too.
We're in the top of the 6th. Fastball at the knees on the outside corner. A called strike, 0-1. Newhouser had a sacrifice fly to knock in a run in the first. Walked and scored in the third. Walked in the fourth. The pitch, it's outside, evens the count up 1-1. Newhouser, just a sophomore. As you said earlier, a big guy.
Yeah. You got 2 sophomores facing each other right here, and they couldn't look any different.
The pitch, curveball, hit on the ground to third, 1 hop to Snavely. His throw across the diamond, a long stretch at first. And they're going to say it pulled him off the bag. Hess couldn't keep the toe touch. And the throw on appeal, the base umpire looked to the home plate umpire who said, nope, he came off the bag. Despite the effort by Hess, it's going to allow a run to score, and it's going to be a throwing error on third baseman Isaiah Snavely. The inning continues, and it's now 8-3. Carroll the lead.
Just another unfortunate mistake from Snider.
Fastball for a strike on Chrisley. Throw to first, not in time.
I've been super impressed by Schaller, though, to come in as a sophomore, just pumping the zone with strikes, getting some weak contact, and, I feel like he's done a really good job so far.
Pitch. Good fastball. Just catches the black on the outside corner. And quickly 0-2 for Schaller against Chrisley. Chrisley, a right-handed batter. Slightly open stance. And the pitch. And he just went right after him. Challenged him with a fastball and a swing and a miss by Chrisley. And the side retired. But an unearned run does come across, and it makes it an 8-3 game as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Next, this is high school baseball, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Time is running out on the Snider Panthers here at Hawley Field. Game 1 of 2 between Snider and Carroll, and the Carroll Chargers have an 8-3 lead as Snider comes to bat in the home half of the sixth. With Josh VanMeter, I am Brett Rump. Glad you're joining us here for our high school baseball presented by PSM Baseball. It's coming out of the personal checking account of Josh VanMeter.
That was a good one, Brett. That was a good one right there.
Be sure to thank him by getting your training with Josh VanMeter at PSM Baseball Academy.
That's right. That's right. Come get better. Get better.
I came back.
That's right. You got it. You got it. That's right. No, this, like you said, this is a big moment for Snider. You got to find a way to get closer to the top of the lineup here.
It's Brady Keck, and he lifts one in the air. Shallow left in is Edgar. He'll call off his center fielder Jackson Sparks and make the catch in shallow right center for out number 1. Brady Keck retired. It'll bring up Jack Mormon, the Panthers catcher.
Yeah, you only got you got 5 outs left, really, for Snider, and, you just got to find a way to string something together here.
First pitch to Mormon is a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. Mormon hit a weak liner to short first time up, and a base hit his last time at bat. 1 for 2 in the game, and he takes one inside. It's 2-0. By the way, big thanks to Ryan Eaton, who is tuned in up in LaGrange, listening on his Alexa device. So many ways you can actually listen to these ball games. Fastball hits the inside corner. It's 2-1. And this one in the air down the right field line. It will slice and go foul out of play. Aaron Benfeld is the right-handed reliever for Carroll that has come on last inning to replace Kyle Young. Chargers starter, and a curveball breaks off the plate down and away, and it's 3-1. Or correction, 3-2 on Mormon.
Yeah, this is where, for Carroll, you hate to give away free passes right here. 5-run lead in the late innings. The last thing you want to do is be walking guys, giving free passes. See how far you can hit it right here. I used to have a coach tell me all the time.
Fastball is on the corner. Oh, that looked inside from our position, but it is.
But we don't make the rules, right, Brett?
Yeah.
The umpire's in control of this game.
We don't get to call them from up here.
Oh, how we wish we could, though, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
There's a few guys would like to call them from the batter's box.
That's right.
So it is a strikeout of Mormon, and it brings up Noah Hess with 2 outs and the base is empty, and he takes one that's outside for ball 1. Righty-lefty matchup, and again, the fastball tails away, 2-0.
I was saying, I used to have a coach tell me when we would get in these situations, 2-0, 3-1, 5-run lead, see how far he can hit it. You haven't earned the right to really try to dot a pitch, 2-0, 3-1. You're giving the hitter the advantage. See how far he can hit it. Kind of a little psychological game, too.
The 3-0.
I guess that was 2-1.
Yeah, 2 balls.
Now
it's now 3-1.
Now it's 3-1, yeah.
The windup and the 3-1 pitch, and he took a hack at it, lifted in the air, foul ground, third base side, over third baseman Carter Irons, and he reaches over the rail but can't make the play. So it's gone the distance for Noah Hess, the Panthers' first baseman, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out to third, also walked in the fourth. Left-handed hitter against Benfeld, a right-handed hurler, and the payoff. And that is hit to left field in the air, a few steps in for Xavier Edgar. He'll make the catch. The side retired. It is a 1-2-3 inning in the sixth. We head to the seventh. Carroll with an 8-3 advantage over Snider. It is the high school baseball game of the week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. We go to the final inning. It's the top of the seventh here at Hawley Field. Brett Rump with Josh VanMeter. Glad to have him as our color analyst for this Saturday morning baseball. Next week we should have a good one too with Snider visiting Homestead.
I might have to come back for that one.
I hope you do. Hitters 8, 9, and 1. Or no, correction. For the Chargers, it's hitters 6, 7, and 8. Starts with Tyler Morris, right-handed hitter. And the first pitch misses, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. A curveball had him swinging early. And that evens things up, 1-1 on Morris, who is 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and a strikeout. Also walked back in the first. The 1-1, fastball, low and outside, skips off the dirt.
It's just been one of those games for Snider where it kind of seems like nothing has kind of gone their way. You still got one inning left, not out of time yet, so got to find a way to get 3 quick outs here and get back in the dugout.
Curveball, and he hit it right off the end of the bat, squibbed it into foul territory on the first base side. Carroll in front 8-3. Chargers kind of took control of the game in the top of the first when they put 3 runs across before Snider even had an at-bat. Snider did get a run in the bottom of the first inning. That curveball is in the dirt.
It really all started with that tricky hop to shortstop to Fry in that first inning, and really since that point forward, it really feels like Snider's never really been able to get their bearings right, never been able to get on track.
The payoff pitch, curveball, and that's fouled out of play. Chargers added to their 3-1 lead with 2 runs in the third and 2 more in the fourth. They were up 7-1 when Snider scored 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth inning. But Carroll came right back and scratched one across in the top of the sixth, and now a base hit right up the middle for Tyler Morris. And the leadoff man aboard for Carroll here in the seventh.
Another really good piece of hitting right there from Morris. Another line drive back up the middle. About hit it right through the pitcher, and Carroll off to another good start to an inning.
So with a runner at first, nobody out, Aiden Corzine. Well, correction, we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Tommy O'Connor.
Tommy O'Connor, a senior catcher, first baseman, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, right-handed hitter. And the pitch, fastball at the knees on the outside corner for strike 1.
This is the hardest thing to do in baseball, Brett. Let me tell you. Come in, pinch hit, 1 at bat. You've been sitting over there in the dugout all day, coming in cold. I've done this plenty of times. This is the hardest thing to do in baseball right here.
Well, your career kind of depended on it.
It did, yeah. For a while it did. You're right.
I didn't see it. He did it quickly.
The pitch, grounded to the right of shortstop Landon Fry. He makes the play but throws it wildly to second, and it goes into right field. Another error for Snider. I believe it's either their 4th or their 5th of the game. And it's going to allow Morris to head to third base. At first is O'Connor. So it's runners on the corners, nobody out for Kyle Young. Or correction, it's Aaron Benfeld who came in for Young.
Tough play right there for Fry, going to his right, trying to flip that double play. Most important part of that play is the feed to second, and unfortunately just not able to deliver a good feed, and we got more chaos on the bases for Carroll.
First pitch to Benfeld, just misses the outside corner. So O'Connor reaches on a fielder's choice. The error out at second, which, of course, allowed the runner to advance to third. And this pitch misses down and away, and it's 2-0 on Benfeld. Morris the runner at third. O'Connor the runner at first. Nobody out. We're in the top of the 7th with Carroll leading at 8-3, and the pitch, a fastball that's at the knees for a strike, 2-1.
I imagine if you see an out here, I think you're going to see at some point Carroll get creative on the bases here to try to score a run if it continues to be first and third.
Every run here in the top of the 7th adds some insurance. Snider down to their final 3 outs in the bottom half of the inning. They show bunt, but pull the bat back and take a strike.
Maybe looking for a squeeze bunt right there. So it'd be interesting to see what Coach Ginder goes to right here with 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Benfeld. Right-handed hitter. And they faked to third, snapped to first, but the runner already back and standing on the bag. You ever see that work, Josh?
They outlawed that in professional baseball a few years ago. Actually, I was about to say I hadn't seen that move in probably 10 years, to be honest with you. So it was kind of refreshing to see. It used to work all the time. I know when I was these kids' age, we would run that play all the time and get people out.
Pitch fouled out of play on the 2-2, so it has to be done again. The stretch and the pitch from Schaller, and it's in the air on the infield. Over near the line, second baseman Cam Davis, he'll make the catch. Runners will have to return to their bags. And that's the first out here in the top of the 7th. A pop up to the second baseman.
19, Jack Craker.
Looked like the wind just pushed that ball toward the line. Davis actually had a pretty long run from his second base position to just barely in fair territory back behind first.
Wind kind of kept pushing it. I think you're going to see Carroll do something creative on the bases here at some point in this at-bat.
Swing and a miss by Craker. The fastball belt high. That's one you want to see, but you don't want to miss.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones you want back right there.
Top of the 7th, 8-3 ball game. Carroll in front. Throw to first. Diving back is O'Connor safely.
I think the 2 pickoff rule would be good in high school baseball. I think that'd be a good addition.
Another elevated fastball and a swing and a miss from the left-handed hitter Craker, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Well, of course, you're referring to what they've implemented at the major league level again in professional baseball. If you throw a third time, you got to throw the guy out, or it goes as a balk.
Yep.
That fastball just misses the outer edge. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter for Carroll, Jackson Craker. Morris, the leadoff third. O'Connor off first, and the pitch is outside, 2-2.
Really surprised the middle infielders are back here. Even though it's a double play situation, it's a big run at third base.
And the pitch, and a wave at a pitch away, and a big strikeout for the second out of the inning.
No batting
for Zach Schaller.
I tell you what, man, I have been impressed with Zach Schaller. He has come into this game and just pounded the zone and done a really good job for Snider for a sophomore. You know, this is a big game for a sophomore to be coming in a deficit, and he's done a really good job out here today. Obviously, got a tough task ahead of him with Sparks coming up with 2 outs. See how he handles it.
Sparks, a .431 hitter. Steps into the left-handed batter's box, and he fouls it the opposite way, wide of the left field line, and lost the bat in the process. Has to go back into the turf behind home and collect his bat.
He needs to run to the on-deck circle to get some stick.
Yeah. Schaller goes to the stretch, and the pitch. Slider down and in.
Good pitch, good take right there.
It hung in the zone for a long time, and then just a quick break down and in. And Sparks was able to lay off it. It evens the count up 1-1. Stretch and the pitch, and it's grounded towards second.
Nice.
Davis, the short flip to Fry, covering the second base bag, and the side retired. Well, after a first and third, nobody out situation, a good job to work out of it by Snider pitcher Zach Schaller, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. in a 7-inning game. It is 8-3 Carroll, the lead over the Panthers. Do or die for Snider here at home when we return on the high school baseball game of the week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Do or die, bottom of the 7th inning, and Snider trails at 8-3 to the Carroll Chargers. And the first hitter is Trevor Jarvis, and he jumps on the first pitch and pulls it deep and foul on the left field corner. 0-1. And this one in the air to center. Charging is Sparks, and he will make the catch just behind his shortstop, Remington McKeever, for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. That's always the big one. When you've got this 5-run lead, you just want to get that first out in the books and move it on from there.
You get that first out, and you feel like you can just take a deep breath, right? Feel a little relieved. Now you can try to get 2, and then you're really close. Yeah, it works out for Carroll. You got 8-9 here to lead the inning off, and try to get 2 outs before you get to the top of the lineup would be huge right here.
Swing and a miss by Raiden Morrow.
Raiden had a huge at-bat his last time. Let's see if he can dig in and do something here. Ooh.
A pitch, a called strike 3 on a generous outside corner.
Yeah, got a fortunate call right there.
Ready for the lunch break between games.
Yeah.
So it goes to the top of the order. Brandon Logan batting for the 4th time. He's reached base twice, hit by pitch his last time up, doubled in the first. Scored both times he's reached, and he takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, and an 8-3 Carroll lead. And an off-speed pitch, and Logan got caught with the bat, covering a little bit of the plate, and it goes off the bat, and it puts him in an 0-2 hole. Aaron Benfeld, right-hander, trying to finish it off. And it's chopped middle of the diamond. It's going to be a tough play for shortstop Remington McKeever, and he won't even be able to make a throw. Too much speed for Logan. When that ball chopped and slowed down in the thick grass here in the infield, it was
I would call that a hit.
Impossible. It's got to be an infield hit.
That's a hit, yeah. I don't think he had any chance of throwing him out right there. No. Not with that athleticism.
So a runner aboard with 2 out, and this number 2 hitter, Cam Davis, steps in as Logan goes. The throw to second, and it goes into center field, and Logan's on his feet heading to third.
Yeah,
most guys you don't run in that situation.
Yeah.
Brandon Logan is
This is why Snider has such a chance to be, really, really good, make a deep run this year. When you have athletes like this, they can change the game, in the blink of an eye.
So a stolen base and an E2 getting Logan down to third. And the 1-0 pitch to Davis, taken for a strike, 1-1.
That's that stolen base where you better be 100% that you're safe, right? That's that one, and it is what it is, The
1-1, and that's fouled back and out of play. Snider down to their last strike, trailing 8-3, bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, he was the one that was asleep.
Curveball in the dirt, and it ricochets back to the backstop. Logan's going to trot in from third base, making it an 8-4 game. Talk about manufacturing a run. A single, a stolen base, third on the air, and scoring on a wild pitch.
Call that man-made.
Yeah.
Call that man-made right there.
Didn't need any help from any of his teammates. 2-2 pitch to Davis. That's low, ball 3. By the way, we talked about the Comets last night. Tough one, 5-4. Comets lost at Toledo and had a goal review go against them that would have tied it up late in the third. Ball 4 is up and in, and it's a 2-out walk to Cam Davis. The inning will continue.
Now batting for the Panthers,
for Landon Fry.
Tell you what, this game's not over. This game is not over yet, folks.
We had 2 outs with the bases empty, and then Brandon Logan got a base hit, a stolen base, advanced on the throwing air, and scored on a wild pitch. Now a runner aboard for Fry. Grounded backhand side of shortstop Remington McKeever, and he dives, and it goes off his glove into left field. And it's a base hit for Fry, and the inning does continue. Now runners at first and second for cleanup hitter Isaiah Snavely, who just so happens to have 3 home runs on the year.
Yeah, all it takes is one swing, one swing, and this game gets real interesting.
Right-hander to the left-handed hitting Snavely, and the first pitch, a big cut, and it goes off the end of the bat, foul, rolling toward the Carroll dugout on the third base side.
Big swing right there from Snavely. One of those things, you can only score 3 runs right here, right? So, you can't hit a 4-run homer right here. So just try to get the barrel to it, and then what happens after that, it's kind of out of your control, but got to take a little more controlled swing here.
The 0-1 catches the outside corner for a called strike. 0-2 now on the cleanup hitter for the Snider Panthers. A .436 hitter on the year, but he's got an 0-for-3 day going here in game 1 of the 2-game set against Carroll. The pitch, fouled out of play left side.
The stats, the numbers would say that he's due.
He's due, right?
He's due. That's what the analytics that's what the analytics would say.
That's
right?
what they tell shooters in basketball. If you're a 40% shooter and you're 0-for-10, you're due to hit about 4 in a row.
That's right.
The stretch and the 0-2 pitch inside. 1-2. It's Davis out at second, who reached by a walk. Fry followed it up with a single. Runners at first and second, 2 out, bottom of the 7th. The stretch and the 1-2. Outside, ball 2, evens the count.
Tell you what, for Snavely right here, you really got to protect on that outside corner, though, especially with that heater. You see a heater, away, it's going to be tough to take. Umpire's been calling that pitch that from this vantage point looks a little off. You got to really protect that outside corner. That's where he's going to keep going.
The 2-2, and he does, and it's tapped right back to the mound. Benfeld takes the step to first, throws accurately, and Snavely retired on a grounder back to the pitcher, and the ball game is over. A run comes across here in the bottom of the 7th. A couple of hits and a couple left on. Game 1 of 2 here between Carroll and Snider goes to the Carroll Chargers. Final score 8-4. We'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap it up here at Hawley Field next. You're listening to the high school baseball game of the week, presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.